So Percy Jackson season 2 is finally here after to little to no fanfare for some reason. I didn't really see any marketing for this second season. I didn't know it was coming out until literally I randomly hopped on Disney Plus that day cuz I hadn't used it in a while and it's like new episode. And I'm like, "Oh, I guess it's out now." Um I think it's fine. I still don't really like the main actor for Percy Jackson. Like, I think Annabeth is fucking great, and I think Grover's pretty good too. Percy just, and it's not the actor's fault. He just doesn't really act like Percy. Percy's supposed to be this bad boy. That's how he's portrayed in the movie. That's how he's portrayed in the books. He's always getting detention and suspended from schools, if not expelled. Yet, this kid just really does not give that energy. He's just more of a nice guy, and that's really not Percy. Um, I think Tyson was really good here. He gets introduced in the first episode. He's a lot of fun. Tyson was the only redeemable part of the shitty sequel. Um, there just isn't much to talk about with the sequel. Like the first one was really good. I like the first Percy Jackson movie. Did not like the sequel, but we're here to talk about the show. Um, you know, they fight over the quest in the second episode, and Beth ends up winning, and they end up like being like, "Wait, no, you have to have more than that." And then, of course, Percy decides, Annabeth decides not to choose him, but of course, they go on the quest anyway because main character syndrome. Um, they're on the boat. They meet Luke. Tyson chooses to help them. Cassie blows up everything is the fourth episode. I like how they named the episodes after, like the actual chapters in the books. I think that's really cool. Another change from the book, because there's some changes from the book, is that Clarice has a den of soldiers that aren't Confederates. Now that is a good change. And, in the movie, you're supposed to feel I feel like you're supposed to feel somewhat bad for them, but they're Confederates. I'm not sure about the book because it's been a little while since I've read it. But I think that's a pretty good change that Clarice's men aren't Confederate soldiers. The fifth episode is my favorite. We check into CC Spa and Resort. It was one of my favorite chapters of the book too. Um, I do feel like it ends too soon, but it's also based off a book that was probably only a chapter or two. Probably only one really long chapter, actually. Um, but I thought that was probably the best episode. Nobody gets the fleece. I believe that is when we realize that the Cyclops is actually way smarter than he's been pretending to be. He's been pretending to be stupid, and he's actually really scary. There's a scene with him picking up children's skulls and mimicking their voices because that's something the Cyclops can do, is steal people's voices. It's just wow, they make this really good change with him. Instead of him being this bumbling oaf, he actually feels like a threat. He's then defeated by Tyson in like 2 seconds. I felt like that was kind of stupid. Like, you just made him seem like he was this big, big threat. And Tyson's like, hey, I don't want to hurt you. And he's like, oh, you can't hurt me. And then Tyson quits holding back and beats him. Like, that felt really lame. Um, Episode 7 was fine. It's really not much to talk about. Episode 8 is, the finale, obviously. The fleece worked its magic too well. And that is when they all have the standoff with Luke. They try and convince Luke to not heal Kronos. They realize that he's kind of realized he's been duped, but he still wants to work with Kronos. They don't do what the second movie did and immediately bring back Kronos, which was such a weird choice. Um, then Luke, he's fine. I think I preferred him from the movies. But he doesn't get to really do that much, so can't blame the actor. Grace gets brought back to life, and the show ends. And I think it was overall a decent season 2. Um, I will say, I thought Grover and Ambeth did great, and still, I'm just not a fan of this version of Percy yet. But I'm hoping they get him right one day. I don't know. It's nothing against the actor.